What's up, folks? We're back with another installment of Ad Free Radio. I think it's number 8. Is it number 8, Pussy?
We are up to episode 8. I am Pussy, and I'm introducing your boy, Jabroni Mike.
Jabroni Mike. You could call me just Mike, since I've known you for like fucking 17 years or something.
Yeah, we're less formal these days. Just call me Baby Doll. How about that?
Well, you know, we had a little bit of a talk prior to the stream about the fact that I think, yeah, calling you Pussy may be having an impact on not only like just the video's visibility, because as you know, YouTube, the algorithms and stuff, they like to listen for like no words and stuff, and you know, it makes it harder for the video to have visibility. So if we're just saying like pussy like 90 times, it's probably hurting the video, right? The video's visibility. And in addition to the fact that some people, whether or not this is a valid concern, they just don't want to listen to the word pussy like 50 times in a fucking like 2-hour podcast. They don't want to hear the word pussy constantly, which you have a response for. Do you want to share the response with them? Because I said I was going to bring it up to him.
Yeah, my response is fuck you.
His response is fuck you. So there it is. I tried. I told him the alternative, Stanky P.
No, my name is Pussy, and that's it. And if you
Mr. Vagoo, which I thought that one was really cool. I'm a little disappointed you
want
like
to call me something else, you can call me something else, but I'm not going to acknowledge it.
He's not. You're just going to fucking ignore me. We're the only 2 people in the room. You're just going to ignore me.
Who's speaking right now?
Yeah. So I mean,
holidays.
Again, if it's making people not listen to the podcast, wouldn't like don't you want people to listen to it? I want people to listen to it.
Now, what if it's making people listen to the podcast? That my name is.
Do me a favor, guys. Go down in the comments section of the video and let me know, okay? If one of the major reasons that you watch this podcast is because I do it with a man named Pussy.
I'm not going to change my name regardless, because that is my name.
He's not going to. That's
I
fucking.
I don't even understand why you're bringing this up.
Don't think it's gonna happen. But I just want to see that confirmed, right? Because you're saying, what if it's making people listen to it, watch it, whatever.
Sure.
I want to know if there's a single, there's people who are just gonna say yes for the fuck of it.
Course
Please be honest and let me know. This is what do you call it? Market research?
Yeah, sure.
Market research. We need to find out.
He's got a pen and a clipboard out right now. He's doing some good research.
We want it's like a focus group. All right, is the fact that there's a man named Pussy,
and let's use that term very loosely, man. Let's use that term very loosely.
I know there are a lot of women that you've dated who have called you like what, half man, quarter man.
Just fucking like androgynous blob.
You are pretty dumpy.
Pretty blobby and like clammy and like really disgusting. And like I wouldn't really say I'm a man. I'm not even anywhere near that. Don't call me a man.
More like beast.
Yeah, I'd say more like beast. More like fucking disgusting wildebeest that has like, ooh, I'm not gonna go there. Ooh, I'm not gonna go there. Has shit stuck in its fucking asshole hairs.
Isn't it a little bit too early for shit?
It's never too early for shit. What? It's fucking.
It's always a good time for shit. Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
That's what I have my daily bowel movement.
Or several in my case.
I
want to wish everybody happy holidays.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
We're recording this podcast around the holiday season, so even though you probably won't hear this until like spring or something.
Yeah, I take my time.
But we hope everybody had a happy holiday season and happy New Year. We are bringing in this episode, which will be the first one of the new year. We got some really interesting commercials for you. We got I'll give you a quick rundown. We have found we haven't even touched the fucking tip of the iceberg. We have only touched the tip of the iceberg, I should say, with the first set of commercials we found. It's around a beer company called Hamm's, which operates out of where? Minnesota, right?
It looks like the company doesn't exist anymore, but what we have here tonight are vintage commercials from this company.
Ooh, we have some fun vintage commercials from
which
Hamm's
is a thing we haven't done here yet. Vintage commercials.
Not as vintage as this. This is, I mean, we did some Airheads, some Gushers rather. We did some Gushers commercials, but that was the 90s.
Well, we're old. We're old. And I hate it. some things get better with age. Life is not one of them.
Nope.
No, it is for some people. It is for some people.
Neither do these commercials get better with age.
We got one from, I don't know what year this one's from. One's from 1979. One's from 1981.
Approximately.
A defunct beer company that, well, there's a lot of interesting shit going on. We won't
Are they
won't spoil
defunct? They
it.
might still be around.
It looks like,
for all
well, we
know.
got the wiki open if you really give a shit about this.
Well, you gotta
It's
go
called
to
Hamm's with 2 M's.
Hamm's Brewery.
Established in 1865.
I think they're still active. They're founded in 1865. They're still around.
No,
They
wait a
might
minute,
be
asshole. No, hold on.
They might be a regional
This
thing.
article is about the former Theo Hamm's Brewing Co. All Hamm's brands are now brewed by the Miller Brewing Company of Milwaukee.
There we go. So
which was bought by Eastern Beverages Distributed, which was bought by Amazon, all according to Jeff Bezos' plan.
Oh, okay. So
This is just another, another fucking power grab.
So we have commercials
From Bezos.
of Amazon beer. That'll be first up on the agenda, and we're gonna follow that up by somewhat of an interesting Airheads commercial.
It is akin to some of the Gushers stuff,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
And the cool thing about this one, and actually the third commercial we're going to look at tonight, they're viewer suggestions. I told you guys, send in your suggestions. We'll take a look at the commercials. And then they sat in my inbox for like 9 months, and you were like, oh, that jerk-off is never going to look at these. Well, guess what? That jerk-off did look at them. And tonight, we're going to check them out. So, yes, the second one is an Airheads commercial, and the third one is for Google Lens. Remember
Pixel
Google
3.
Lens, that fucking thing that nobody bought? The fucking futuristic eyeglasses thing that goes on your face so you look like a fucking cyborg in like some shitty fucking
Wait a minute.
B movie from the 80s.
Wait a minute. I think that's something different. I think we're looking at something different. This
Oh,
looks
that's
like
Google Glass.
This is an app on the new Google
Oh, never mind.
Pixel
Oh,
phone.
I'm a penis.
Yes, we have a commercial about Google Lens on the new Pixel 3 phone from Google.
It's a phone app. Sorry, I lied. Okay, but whatever. Just fucking. Well, maybe I just edit the lie out. Where they're just-
No, because then we'd have no podcast if we edit all the lies out.
If we edit out all the lies and the fucking just the misinformation,
And the
just out of
talk about-
ignorance.
And the talk of feces, if we eliminated those two components, we have no podcast.
It was yes, I was just ignorant and stupid, so it's not technically a lie. It was like a lie out of stupidity, I guess. Which is it's not really a lie. Whatever.
Welcome
Why don't
to
we
America.
watch the first commercial instead of sitting here twiddling our penises?
Sure, we're gonna watch the first set of commercials. It's Hamm's. We have 3 of them for you. Let's check them out.
From the land of sky blue waters, from the land of pines, lofty balsams, from the beer refreshing.
Pour an ice-cold Hamm's and treat yourself to the premium beer from the land of sky blue waters. Great tasting Hamm's.
Hands the beer refreshing, hands the beer refreshing, hands. From the land of sky blue waters, from the land of pines, lofty balsams, beer refreshing.
Pour yourself an ice-cold Hamm's and enjoy the premium beer from the land of sky blue waters. Have a Hamm's. You deserve it.
Hands the beer refreshing, hands the beer refreshing, hands.
Never stops refreshing you.
Want another Hamm's? Have another. It's brewed with water best for brewing. So light on your thirst, it keeps on refreshing you, glass after glass.
Round after round it goes and never stops refreshing.
Round after round.
Hands after hands. Round after round it goes and never stops refreshing. Hands up there refreshing. Never stops refreshing you.
Want to stay refreshed? Fight for Hamm's.
Did he just flip us off? All right, well, we're back. Those were the Hamm's beer commercials.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Where to even start with all those? And by the way, like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
There are so many of these commercials. Just fucking put it into the YouTube search. You're gonna be you could watch these for hours.
Like we didn't even look at. There were pages of these fucking commercials.
This company must have had a massive advertising budget.
Yeah. Let me start by saying that I love beer.
You know I do too.
I love beer. Beer's
one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah. I never quite got refreshed by a beer.
I'll say I have. I'll say I've been refreshed by it. On like a hot day, if a fucking beer like comes out of especially like a wheat beer, like a darker one won't really do this. But if you give me like a nice like a wheat beer, or like a pilsner, or even like a pale ale, like fresh out of a cooler that had ice in it, and it's got all the it's all wet and stuff, and you just bust it open and it's like it's nice and frosty and stuff. It could be refreshing. Okay,
because normally when I drink beer, I usually just get shit-faced.
Well, it really depends on how much of it you're drinking.
And sloppy. That's what I get.
You could just like have one beer and then stop.
What are you talking about?
That's on the table. It took me a long time to figure that out, but I did eventually figure that out.
What are you talking about? You could just have one beer. That happens? What the fuck is this guy? They sell them in six-packs, you moron. What are you talking about?
What is that? He's like, what are you, some kind of Democrat? One beer.
The only time I'll have one beer is when they're in those fucking 40-ounce cans. That's one beer as far as I'm concerned.
Because it's the fucking liquid volume of like 5?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I don't know how that actually works.
We don't know math. We don't
know
math nor
or your
English.
units of measurement. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's for nerds. Nerds don't drink beer. They stay home and study the blade while we're out partying.
So first thing, I think obviously something we need to talk about, like first and foremost. How cute these commercials are.
Really adorable, right?
And how they're made with cartoons.
Reminds me of some of the cartoons that I watched when I was a kid.
Oh, gee, when you were a kid? So what
like way before like I really knew anything about alcohol or like what it was or whatever, I mean, if I think about like Warner Brothers cartoons from the era, I'm sure you could find like I don't know, like Bugs Bunny drinks like a fucking, some moonshine or some shit, right? I'm sure it exists, but those cartoons weren't made as vehicles for selling alcohol. Now, hey, wait, whoa, before you get ahead of yourself, man. I mean, nobody's fucking suggesting that they're marketing beer to children.
Who, Hams?
I mean, did you see any children in those commercials?
No, certainly not.
I mean, wouldn't there be kids in them if they were marketing it to kids? Wouldn't there be kids? I mean, listen, check it out, right? We live in an era now where it's pretty acceptable, or at least more acceptable in the public conscience than it was, I think, in this time period, whatever fucking 70s, 80s, that an adult could enjoy something that was animated, right? Like even in the fucking, like in the 90s, that cartoons are for babies, right? The concept of a man baby didn't exist yet. They just said that you had like, a fucking chromosome missing or
a
something.
Man baby, sure.
Even to this day, my father, if he saw me watching like fucking Castlevania on Netflix, he'd be like, grow the fuck up, or you were fucking a baby. Why you watch a show for the baby? Go do some work or go make some money. Why you watch a cartoon for the baby?
Yeah.
I'd get fucking...
Go plant some tomatoes.
Go plant some tomatoes, you dopey fuck. I think most people in that generation would fucking, like, they're not even aware of the fact that there is animation for adults, right? Or that, you know what, man? Sometimes I will become aware of a fucking, something that was made for kids. And you know what?
What?
I'll watch it and I'll fucking enjoy it. Because maybe even though like it was definitely like geared towards a younger audience, I like the animation or I like the music or I just like maybe it, I don't know. Like I will still once in a while, I'll watch something like that's, oriented for a child. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
because I can appreciate
Well,
the art of animation.
Well, these commercials clearly are marketing towards children.
I don't think that they're doing that necessarily.
There's fucking Bugs Bunny ripoff. Okay, first off, that first commercial, they're playing baseball, right? All the animals, the animated animals are playing fucking baseball. What the fuck does that have to do with beer? They're playing baseball in a fucking forest, and then buy beer.
Well, when
Hamm's
when
beer.
you're at the ball game, cold beer, hot pretzels, cold beer, get your beer here. You drink beer as a baseball game. There's a correlation.
What about the motocross when the bear is running away from a bull? What does that
that's
have to do with
obviously
beer?
when you drive drunk. People drive fucking motorcycles while they're drunk. It happens all the time.
Oh, I see.
There's a correlation there. I mean, people don't do that.
I see. Okay. Okay, fucking amazing, beautiful,
Right,
absolutely
there you go.
fantastic.
There you go. Done.
This type of shit is. I don't know if it's illegal these days, but
It is definitely that would never get aired today. I'm breaking your balls. Obviously, this is some fucking insidious marketing to children. I'm just fucking playing devil's advocate. This is so fucking that. Right? I mean, I'm trying to think. Like again, during that time period, you didn't use animation to market to a fucking adult. Adults didn't react to fuck cartoons were for kids. That's just how it was.
You don't.
I'm thinking,
need-
what's a fucking adult cartoon from that time period? Maybe I'm thinking of like Heavy Metal. Remember, like that fucking those cartoons with like the women with the big tits and everything.
No, this is
and like that high fantasy sci-fi cartoon
No,
where it had
I-
they were like music videos and everybody had giant tits.
I never knew. I never.
You don't know
watched
Heavy
that.
Metal? You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm fucking trying to think of something else. Then
Dude, how about?
I don't think that.
How about fucking Bugs Bunny? Because Bugs Bunny's in the fucking commercial. He's pitching to the bear.
I think that's just a rabbit that looks like Bugs Bunny. I don't think that's not like a fucking Warner Brothers crossover. It's not.
No, it's not a Warner Brothers crossover, but it's clearly a ripoff of Bugs Bunny.
He was Bugs-esque.
They're utilizing, Disney era and Warner Brother.
He
era
might ask you like
cartoons.
which way to Santa Fe instead of which way to Albuquerque.
or where is this from? Milwaukee again? What is this company?
which way?
Montana?
Which way to Milwaukee? Yeah,
Which way to the great blue sky water?
it's blue sky water, which we found out is actually
Sky blue water.
translates to in the Dakota language the word Minnesota.
Apparently.
In the Dakota Native American tribe, the Dakotas, in their language, Minnesota is how you say clear blue sky.
Sky blue water.
Sky blue water.
Sky blue
Right.
water.
And that was why they, I guess, whoever settled that fucking state named it Minnesota.
What a fucking genius.
Well, there was a river. No. That's what it said on the wiki there because we were just curious.
So they got a nice little jingle for this commercial. They have cartoons.
Which that jingle was written for these fucking commercials.
Let me ask you a question.
We're pretty sure.
Do you have no? It was because from the land of sky blue water.
You see how like
refreshing beer,
Native American it sounds like with the drums
Yeah.
and like the
refreshing beer,
like that
refreshing
kind of that.
beer, refreshing beer. That's almost the lyrics. The beer's refreshing from the land of.
Yeah, the lyrics are very low quality. I hope they didn't pay too much for that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you remember like your first experiences with beer, with alcohol as a child? Do you remember that?
I'm trying to remember. Nope. And there's a reason for that. Because of how much I drank.
I see.
Yeah, you see how that problem kind of just folds back in on
Yeah,
itself?
it's like time's a flat circle. It's a
Time's flat.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Cool, but I know you have a
Oh my god.
fun story that involves me.
Christ.
And everything that involves me is better. So why don't you go ahead and tell them? I think I brought this up on stream at one point, but I think it'll be better to hear it from your mouth.
Yeah, this was horrible. My first experience with alcohol. Okay, when I was a kid, I think I took a sip from my grandfather's like Budweiser one year. Right? I don't know how old I was. Maybe I was like 9.
And you were
or
like,
8.
ew, yucky.
No, yeah, it was disgusting. It was putrid. And coincidentally, I just took a sip of Budweiser yesterday, and I had the same reaction because it's fucking.
Some
fucking
things never
disgusting.
change.
But I guess technically that was my first experience with alcohol. Like sipping my grandpa's beer.
Probably for most people, it's something like that.
Yeah, definitely for most most people, they fucking used to give the kids a little bit of booze underneath the table.
I give my nephew like a tiny little sip once in a while if he asks for it.
Okay, that's obviously a lie. I know you would never do anything like that. So let's move on.
Oh, because it's against the law?
And let's move on.
They can't prove it.
So yeah, that's why I'm saying you're joking about it. So anyway, I would say that like my first experience with booze, with fucking booze, was I think it was 19. You and me and a few others, we went to this crappy underage bar on the North Shore of Staten Island, and like everybody, this place is packed, and everybody that was in it was clearly underage.
Yeah, they're just letting people in.
Just letting, because stealing their money, and what they were doing, and I didn't realize it at the time, but what they were doing is that they were giving everybody watered down drinks.
Because we don't fucking know.
Because we don't know.
We're kids.
Dude, I got drunk, but I didn't get shit faced, and I was like, wow, that was the first time I got drunk. I was 19. It gave me a sense of how much I can drink.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I walked out of that fucking bar drinking all this watered down shit.
Right.
I probably had like a decent buzz going on.
Right.
So I inflated my own sense of worth with regards to how much I could drink, and I thought like, oh man, I could fucking put them back. You invited us over to your basement, and one of our mutual friends brought over. Oh my god.
He can't even say the word. He can't even say the word.
God, it's fucking. I've never absinthe. He brought over a bottle of fucking absinthe.
What a fucking thing to have.
Your
second fucking experience with alcohol.
I went from nothing to fucking absinthe.
Which, by the way, quick note, it's that licorice, or they don't anise distilled fucking liquor from France. Where they say that, if you drink it, you hallucinate a little bit. I've had absinthe many times. I never saw the Green Fairy. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I didn't hallucinate.
I fucking would drink a shitload of absinthe that I'd still be like the only fairy in the room.
Hallucination would have been more acceptable than what fucking happened to me, because our mutual friend brought this fucking bottle over, and we were periodically taking shots. But because I'm a fucking asshole.
Which, by the way, is not how you're supposed to drink that.
How are you supposed to drink it?
You're supposed to pour it over sugar, and you use ice to cut it and stuff.
Well, maybe if we did that,
you're supposed to drink it straight.
Maybe we would have fucking hallucinated if that's what we did.
I doubt it, but go ahead.
But because I was a fucking big shot and I needed to fucking drink a lot,
look at my alcohol peen, guys. Just pounding shot after shot.
Yeah.
He's getting a little bit stupid, and
while you guys were like off, like playing a video game.
Well, we were more experienced with alcohol, so we knew how to pace ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah,
right?
they did. I didn't. This was my second experience, and I thought that I was fucking like, I don't know, like Homer Simpson level drinker. So while they were off, like playing a video game, I was shit faced by like a shot, 2 shots. I was already shit faced. But while they were off, like doing something else, I was sitting at the bar, pouring.
Because the basement that we were drinking in had like a bar down there, just so you understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was pouring into the shot glass, taking it back. I think I must have took like at least 3 shots by myself. Remember, this is somebody who doesn't drink. Now he's fucking got 5 or 6 shots of absinthe in his fucking system.
An extremely high proof liquor.
Yeah, extremely high proof liquor. So things were fun for a while. Things were fucking fun for a while. We were listening to fucking, and then I remember we were listening to Pink Floyd. And
we played Smash Brothers that night?
I don't know, probably. Comfortably Numb was on, and I was not comfortable nor numb at that point. I lost all sense of equilibrium. And I had to rush to Mike's bathroom, and there was just vomit all over the place. But what was really disconcerting was I couldn't move. I could not move.
He was paralyzed.
I was basically paralyzed. That's how much I drank and how badly it fucking hit me. This is what happens when you're a fucking kid and you drink. Okay? So don't fucking do it. At least don't do it the fucking way I did.
I'm going to interject here for a second just to share my perspective on this.
Yes, please.
One of the things I'll never forget is walking into that bathroom and seeing him on the floor, like in a fetal position, with the exception that his arms were wrapped around the toilet.
Yeah.
And he's not moving. Like, I'm not sure if he's breathing. I remember I kicked him a couple of times. This fucking, by the way, the toilet is just lousy with vomit. It's fucking just filled to the fucking top with vomit. There's vomit on the seat. There's vomit on the floor.
Mom's spaghetti.
And I kick him, and I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like,
I literally.
There were some words.
I know exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I said. First off, I was whimpering.
A lot of it was just whimpers, but there was some. Yeah, there were some words.
It was mostly whimpering, and then I said to him, call my father.
Yeah, that's right.
Call my father.
That's right.
Like, I need to be rescued from this situation, and somehow my father's gonna. Thank God you didn't. Well, maybe he should have.
Oh, I definitely should have.
Probably should.
Oh, I 1,000,000% should have.
I would.
Yes.
I would have gotten brought to the fucking hospital.
Absolutely, you would have.
They would have brought me to the fucking.
You had
hospital.
alcohol poisoning.
Whatever it was, alcohol poisoning. I don't know. But I remember like whimpering from my fucking father, and when Mike was like, "No, dude, no fucking parents, dude."
We're 19. Can I get a break?
He was drunk too. Let's not forget he was drunk too, just not like me.
I don't even think we were that old.
Fucking, it had to be 19 because I was 19 when we did the. This was my second time drinking. It was 19, right. But then the next thing I said to him was just like. I said, leave me here. And I asked him, like, just leave me alone. Leave me here. I'm on the cold tile floor. Yeah. I need to be near the toilet in case I need to puke again. It's the only thing that's making me feel like decent. And Mike was like, no, dude. Why am I Gamby? That's what you said.
But why do I sound like Gamby when you're imitating me?
We're all Gambesking out in these moments, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, no, dude, you gotta move, dude. I can't keep you in the bathroom, dude.
People had to piss and shit, man.
If I had stayed in the bathroom, people would have wound up peeing on me.
Yeah. I would leave you there, let you get pissed on? I'm a friend. I don't do that.
I would have been
Friends don't let friends get pissed on.
I would have been more than happy.
That's the first rule of the bro code, bro.
Unless they ask for it.
If they ask for it, I mean, and you don't piss on them, you're a fucking piece of shit. That's rule number 2 of the bro code.
Yeah.
Rule number 1, friends don't let friends get pissed on. Rule number 2, unless the friend asks you to piss on them, then you have to piss on them. Otherwise, you're a bad person and a bad friend.
Did you write all that
down? And you're going to
down?
hell before and after you die.
Okay, everybody out there, I hope you wrote that down because those are 2 important rules.
Very important.
But having said that, Mike wound up literally dragging me. I couldn't get up because my equilibrium was fucked. There's no way I could stand. He literally dragged me out of his fucking bathroom and then rolled me to the couch and then somehow managed to fucking heave me on top of the couch. And that's where I stayed for the rest of the night. And when I woke up that next fucking morning, worst hangover I ever had in my entire life.
To this day.
Yeah. To this day, worst. And you want to know something? Guess what?
What?
You'll attest to this. After that, I did not drink for probably
right.
3 or 4 years.
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 He wouldn't touch alcohol.
I didn't drink beer.
He was
I
fucking
didn't
scarred
drink
him.
Anything.
It scarred him.
I'm not even joking. So I drank first when I was 19 at that shitty little bar that watered down the drinks. Then the second time I drank a couple of months later was at your place on absinthe, and that was so horrifying and traumatizing that it
I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I remember at the time this was fucking hilarious to me. To see him like that in that state and just whimpering and fuck, that was a blast.
Oh my god!
I was just like, hey, get a load of this dick, can't hold this liquor. Look at him.
Yeah, hold this fucking liquor. I almost died.
Yeah, it's actually a miracle you didn't die that night.
No, and worst hangover I've ever had in my entire life. I
was a bad person.
I've come close maybe one other time, but no, that was hands down the worst. And I still to this day will never drink fucking absinthe. I will not drink fucking. You put absinthe in front of me, I'll tell you to go fuck your mother instead. How about that?
Fuck your mother.
Hey, listen, did you ever tell the chat about the time when we went to that block party?
Oh, no.
I mean, that wasn't as bad as this.
Well, all right. So I had a relative through a block party.
Yeah.
Right? So
we were 18.
Yeah, we
because I didn't drink at the block party because I had not drank yet.
That's right. That's right.
I was
So we're
totally
younger
sober
at this
for
point than the previous. I'd been drinking for fucking years. I think I started drinking when I was like 13 or 14.
Uh-huh.
And we go to this block party, and I bring Pussy along with me, and I just started pounding beers. As soon as we got there, pounding beers, and it became apparent that I realized pretty quickly it was a bad idea to be like really shit faced around my family.
Yeah.
Right? Because why? Again, the logic, I don't have it. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I would go to a family party and get shit faced. I was just, that's the beginning of me becoming an alcoholic, I guess, which I eventually did. But at the time, this was a good fucking idea. And I got fucking wrecked. And I remember at one point they had a potted plant. Right?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember this incident? In their kitchen. And this plant was like, it was, remember that?
Yeah.
It was like a decorative plant.
Oh no.
It was like a very what kind of fucking plant is that? Wasn't a fern. It had like these wide, very thick, waxy leaves, right? Very thick leaves. Like I wouldn't even call them leaves, right? Like they were just very. It was a very meaty kind of a fucking plant.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was not quite cactus because it was more like.
It didn't have like thorns or whatever. It was just a fucking very kind of a thick, like a house plant.
Yeah.
Of some kind. And I just in a drunken stupor, like whatever the motivation was, I have no fucking idea. There was plenty of actual food at the place, but I bit one of these fucking leaves.
He started eating the plant.
I just bit into one of these fucking leaves, and I don't know if it was like some kind of chemical, and maybe it was like a defense mechanism of this plant to stop fucking herbivores from eating it in the wild. But the second I took a bite out of one of these fucking leaves,
is that how you would classify yourself in this situation? A herbivore in the wild?
A herbivore in the wild.
I would classify you as a moron in the dump.
A moron in civilization, right? I bit this fucking thing, and the entire inside of my mouth erupted into a searing pain.
Oh, yeah.
A searing fucking burning sensation.
Uh-huh.
Fucking outrageously painful.
Mm-hmm.
Outrageously fucking painful, right? At the second that I bit into it, it didn't take like a second of chewing on it. It was like as soon as this thing was in my mouth, extraordinary pain. Extraordinary fucking pain.
God.
And I spit the fucking thing out. I was fucking freaking out. He's laughing at me. I'd like to put some work into trying to find out, like if I could look at pictures of plants and eventually identify this fucking thing so I could find out what the fuck happens to me.
So we can eliminate the species of plant.
So I could just go total fucking extermination.
We're gonna fucking
of these
get
things
revenge.
as revenge.
We're gonna murder an entire species of plant because some fucking idiot decided in a drunken stupor he was gonna eat this house plant.
I still don't know why I did it.
So
probably trying to make you laugh or something, right? But anyway,
I don't think so. I mean, I wound up laughing anyway, but I think you were just that fucking like.
well, if the goal was to make him laugh, I did make him laugh, right? So then we eventually come to the conclusion we shouldn't be here. Like, let's go out and walk around. Maybe Pussy. You know, I think you said like if you walk around, you'll sober up a little bit because I was pretty trashed, right? And we're walking around this neighborhood,
and I was completely sober.
He's completely sober again, and we see some people are throwing out some stuff.
Yeah, there was garbage. It was garbage day. People were putting garbage out.
Garbage on the curbside garbage pickup.
Yeah.
And there is a computer monitor. Now, I want to say that you shared some of the culpability in this. I don't think this was a fucking like a Mike exclusive fucking brainchild.
I think this was my idea.
This was actually his idea. He's going to take responsibility for it.
I think this was my idea.
So we figured what we decided to do, and he by the way was completely sober when he came up with this idea.
This is how stupid I am.
We were gonna pick up this fucking computer monitor, and we were gonna take it. And again, you know, this was one of those like. This wasn't a fucking flat screen fucking LCD monitor.
No.
This was an old school office monitor that had a big fucking like tushy in the back.
Those old white monitors
Yep.
with the bulbous fucking glass.
With the fucking badonkadonk.
Yeah, the donkadonk.
in the back. Like, this is a big fucking heavy fucking piece of technology.
Yeah.
And we decided we were going to take it to the top of a fucking hill and throw it off and watch it shatter on the ground below.
For some reason in my mind, in my deficient child brain, I was
18 years
expecting like an explosion.
You were.
I don't know why. I was hoping for like some sparks at least. And and needless to say, it was anticlimactic. We fucking went.
Yeah,
to
the thing like rolled down the hill. I don't even think the fucking screen
it
broke.
didn't even break.
The
Those
glass
things are
didn't
fucking
even fucking
sturdy.
break. Yeah.
Those things they made.
They don't
well.
make them like they used to.
They don't. But the thing. Do you remember what happened next after that?
There was something along the lines of you kicking me in the kidneys really hard.
So what happened next was we were walking down.
I kind
the
of don't
hill.
remember why.
We were walking down the hill, and Mike was so shit-faced at this point. I don't know. He drank a lot. His equilibrium was off balance as well, so he was falling a couple of times. Granted, we were walking down the hill.
So for balance, I grabbed onto the side view mirror of someone's car.
Is that the way you're gonna? That's how you're gonna depict it? So he's saying for balance, he was like trying to stop himself from falling, so he grabbed someone's fucking side view mirror. Now listen, I never hung out with anybody at this point. I was an introverted kid. I never went outside.
Comic book video game
nerd. So until I started hanging out with Jabroni, and
please call me Mike.
Until we started hanging out with Mike, and I didn't know how to handle what he was doing. I was a respectful kid. I was a respectful kid. I didn't know how to make what I was saying, but he stumbled, fell on his fucking ass, and he was by some guy's car. And he looks up and he sees the side view mirror, and he instantly just grabs it and starts fucking pulling it towards him. He's not trying to pull himself down. He wants to destroy this fucking thing. And I look at him and I start screaming at him, "Stop, stop." And in my head, my head, for some reason, I rationalized the way to get him to stop is by kicking him as hard as is possible in his back.
I had my fucking kidneys were bruised for fucking months. Like I think you caused like internal bleeding.
Dude, I didn't know what to do.
And he was repeatedly. This I remember vividly. Him repeatedly fucking kicking me in the kidneys. And you were wearing boots as well. If I'm not
so
mistaken.
sorry.
Just over and over and over. But but I didn't let go of that fucking thing, did I?
He broke it. He broke it.
It came off. It did come off the car.
Dude, he had an agenda, lying down on the ground by the side of this guy's car, looking.
Once I decided it was happening, it was happening.
He was looking up at the sky, and the shiny mirror caught his attention, and he had a gleam in his eye and a fucking smile, and he went and lunged for it and fucking ripped it off. And I tried to stop him, and I didn't know what to do. Look, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Needless to say, I regret doing that.
Well, I panicked, and I regret how I tried to stop you, but I'm Italian. My first inclination to stop someone from doing something is violence.
Yeah, true.
So I figured kick him in the back. It was spur of the moment. But you want to know something? He got his fucking revenge when I was on absinthe, and he started kicking me in his fucking bathroom.
I wonder if that was like deliberate. I wonder if I was like, oh yeah,
you remember?
Remember? I honestly don't know. I'd tell you if that was the thought that occurred to me. I don't remember.
Remember, pussy? You remember when I was drunk and you fucking kicked me? Well, now in your fucking worst moment of your life, revenge is sweet.
I probably just fucking like to tap you with my toe a little bit. You fucking liquefied my kidneys.
the two-toed Sicilian tap. Yeah,
that's
what it's called. The two-toed Sicilian tap.
Come on, man. I mean, listen, the destruction of people's property is not cool. All right, I was a fucking little bastard when I drank alcohol. It's part of the reason I eventually had to stop. I fucking sucked when I drank. I fucking just I was a bad kid, man. I was a bad kid. I've reformed. I've learned the error of my ways. I've become a better person.
But did you drink?
Maybe.
Did you drink because of Hamm's? Because of those commercials? Because I bet you for a lot of people who have similar stories to us, Hamm's is responsible for that.
This advertising campaign, I have no doubt, created an entire generation of alcoholics.
From childhood.
Because if you're seeing now, if you look at those cartoons, you're going to notice that there is nothing adult oriented about them.
Except when the adult in the last one steals a fucking beer from the bear.
We'll get to that. But in those in all of these in the previous two, we'll say in the previous two,
the first two,
you have your live action segment, you have your fucking cartoon segment. In the third one, there's a little bit of that Roger Rabbit thing going on, but in the first two, there's nothing like that. And those cartoon segments have nothing to do with alcohol at all. They're just like, you could see them just being a fucking cartoon that you would show a kid.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon bear. He's cute. There's nothing weird going on.
Yeah.
The one with the beaver, right?
We didn't show the beaver.
We didn't show the one with the beaver?
No, we didn't show the one with the beaver. We showed the one with the baseball and the rabbits.
There's one with the beaver if you
And
go
the
if you go look
motocross
for
and
it.
the bull.
There's one with the beaver where like I guess the beaver tries to commit like an attempted murder, which is maybe the most adult thing that happens in any of these commercials.
Yeah, there's one commercial where the bear, who seems to be the protagonist
Yeah.
in all the commercials, is sleeping on top of a tree, and this fucking murderous beaver comes along
For like no reason.
with a chainsaw.
For no perceptible reason.
With a chainsaw.
He's using a chainsaw. You think it's a beaver, like it could just use its teeth. It's got a chainsaw like in its fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Built into its biology.
And he fucking knocks the tree down in this murderous rage because he wants to kill the cartoon bear.
And I mean, maybe he was drunk.
Maybe. What do you mean maybe?
Maybe the beaver was drunk and he was fucking, maybe he had some hams and he was like fucking feeling like real violent and abusive and fucking twisted. He drank a lot.
He wanted to kick the bear in the
He's
kidneys.
a real fucking bad alcoholic.
Yeah.
But the only way he was going to be able to kick the bear in the kidneys was getting him out of the tree.
Yeah, and he needed the chainsaw. And then afterwards, he was going to go all fucking Scarface on him in a fucking bathtub.
It's like, very obviously oriented towards kids because if there was anything fucking... You know when an animation is kind of more geared towards an adult, and that's not what was happening in those commercials. It was an attempt to kind of, get a kid's attention, and then associate once they had the kid's attention with the fun, cute cartoons, be like, hey, here's beer, it's a thing.
You want to know something? And probably back then when those commercials were coming out, the 1979, 1980s, there probably were more parents and grandparents out there than there are today who would be more willing to buy, beer for kids.
Maybe.
Or give beer to kids. I mean, like over the past like 30, 40 years, shit like that has come to light. There's been less instances of, like drunk driving, less instances of underage drinking. I'm assuming because there are so many people and politicians and campaigns that have come to understand shit like these commercials existed and fostered a sense of shit that should not have been happening.
You look at smoking, you had, the Joe Camel thing. They
Yeah.
had like the cartoon camel, which was supposed to, which they were saying was appealing to kids. I don't know if any other the cigarette companies or whatever had a similar ad campaign with.
They must
But,
have.
I mean, Joe Camel, he was a fucking, he had like a leather jacket, he had sunglasses, he wasn't. I mean,
Why have a cartoon?
then again, Johnny Bravo was for kids.
why have a cartoon to market towards adults?
That's the
doesn't make
question.
sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Maybe it does today because again, today we have the man baby,
We have child
man
Yeah.
children.
Yeah,
I'll tell
man
you
children.
again. Like I said earlier, I fucking love cartoons.
Yeah, like me, I'm a man child.
I love animated movies. I love fucking like serial cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll watch. Me and a friend were watching some of the fucking like old school Cartoon Network cartoon. Do you remember The Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
You have friends besides me? Jesus.
Very very few.
I didn't know this.
And I don't think they really like me that much. But The Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which was some of these cartoons, you go back and you watch them and they fucking hold up. Especially when you think about the fact that cartoons were a little bit like when we were kids. I'm talking about when we were kids. Cartoons were edgier, man.
Once they started getting into the 90s,
Yeah.
you had things like
Ren and Stimpy.
like the Simpsons,
Beavis and Butthead.
The Simpsons, Ren and Stimpy, even South Park. I mean, that was.
I
a
want to
little
say
bit
The
later on.
Simpsons was one of the first fucking animated shows where they said we're gonna write this for adults.
Well, the thing is,
And kids.
the
We're
thing-
gonna write it for. We're gonna have adults in mind.
The thing about The Simpsons, especially when they first started, was that they were writing jokes for adults, but they were delivering the jokes in subtle ways that kids could
Right.
watch it and
Yes,
laugh at
right,
one
right.
thing, and the true story goes over the head.
Which was emulated by so many cartoons subsequently.
For example, there was this one Simpsons episode I watched recently. It was one of the Treehouse of Horrors episodes, which is one of the earlier seasons, maybe like fifth season, somewhere around there, where they parodied King Kong. So Mr. Burns and Smithers commissioned a ship that they were going to bring over to, Kong Island so they could kidnap Kong. So they placed an advertisement in the paper for, the woman, because that's how they're gonna fucking catch Kong. They're gonna bring him a woman he's never seen before,
Right.
and he's gonna go ape shit, and then they're gonna fucking take him.
Shit.
But they don't say that in the advertisement. Obviously, they say we just need a fucking woman. So Marge shows up. She's the woman. So Mr. Burns is like, "Oh, excellent, you'll fit in perfectly," and then he says, "What do you?" And then Mr. Burns asks for Smithers' opinion, and then he says, "What do you think, Smithers?" And then Smithers says, "I don't think women and semen mix." And Mr. Burns says, "We know what you think." And he looks at Marge and says, "You're hired." Like, if you're a kid watching that,
You're like, oh, what?
you're like, women
yeah.
and semen because the Navy guys are rough and
Yeah,
tumble,
yeah.
and she's a woman, so she's a lady. But we know the
I bet you Conan wrote that.
it could have been. But that's the thing. It's like the Simpsons was the first cartoon that did something like that. Where they would deliver an adult joke, but they knew that they were doing it on network television,
Right.
And kids invariably would be watching it. So they structured the jokes in such a way that the kids wouldn't know.
There were, I think, animation. There was animation that was geared towards adults prior to that, but I don't think any of it was ever like on network television like that.
It was very.
It was like hard. You had to find the fuck VHS tapes
Yeah, you
and stuff.
probably
and you
had to
like
go to, like-
what they called like the funny animals thing, which is where like the whole furry fucking like fandom sprang from. And also there was some stuff coming out of Japan too, like animes and things like that.
Japan's an entirely different.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. But they were, I think we're early on. We're making animation geared more towards adults. But you know what, man? This is really off topic. The point is, they were definitely trying to get kids to hook them young on the booze.
Hams.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know something? Let me tell you something. To illustrate how far we have come from that time when they're using things that appeal to children to market something adult and destructive towards them. New York is on the cusp of legalizing recreational marijuana.
Yes.
They're on the cusp of that. It's all likely it's going to happen. But part of the initiative being built into it, and they're already talking about this, the politicians are already talking about this, and it's a good idea, is that they want to make sure that the packaging and the marketing of marijuana does not emulate cartoon shit. So there's going to be no like fucking cartoon Jamaicans smoking bud or whatever.
They don't even want like bright colors on there.
Yeah.
They don't even want like anything.
You want to know something? I understand it. When you look back at these commercials, for example,
there's a long history of this going on.
It's like it's so fucking obvious that they're trying to hook fucking kids for something that's going to harm them. And you want to know something? There's plenty of people out there that will espouse the benefits of marijuana, and I'm sure that there are benefits. But the fact of the matter is, when there's plenty of evidence to suggest that if you're young and you start and you take these substances, especially marijuana, it changes your brain, the capacity of your brain in such a way.
I believe it.
You really shouldn't be.
As someone who smoked a lot of pot,
yeah,
I believe it.
Alcohol, pot, any type of drug, you really should not be utilizing any of this stuff ever. But certainly
when your
not
fucking
before
brain
you're
is
like,
developing.
Yeah,
right.
It legitimately changes
Absolutely.
your fucking brain, and then oh shit,
Look at me, I'm useless. My fucking short-term memory is fucked. My long-term memory is fucked. I could barely put sentences together.
It's real, and this type of shit, this fucking these Hams types of commercials, this type of like mentality of marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, like it did a lot of damage, and to see this is what. Thank God that these records still exist, that we can go back and we can see what actually happened, and we can understand why we shouldn't do stuff like this today.
I really want a beer now.
No, we will. Yeah, me too. We're gonna
That fucking bear. That bear.
I was thinking of bringing some fucking beer over here, and then I didn't because I said to myself, "Let's be responsible adults." But then fuck it.
The bear was very convincing.
Yeah, I mean,
the bear
refreshing.
really made me want a beer. Like he looked like he was having such a good time, despite not showing him drinking any of it.
No,
again.
he didn't, because the implication.
He looks
is
like
they're
Bussy Bear to me. If you guys remember Bussy Bear,
the implication is that they're already drunk when they're doing all this shit, riding motocross, playing baseball. They must already be
piloting a ship,
piloting ships. I love that the adult in that last commercial
He robbed them?
He's like, hey, give me a beer. And they were like, okay, here, $5. And he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, he just shrugged. He was like, "Hey, get fucked."
And then they tried to murder him.
They
with a
went like
harpoon.
Somalian pirate on
They
his ass.
fucking took out a fucking harpoon and they were aiming for his fucking heart.
I wasn't the only one hoping that fucking harpoon was gonna fucking impale him right in the fucking chest, right?
Jesus
like you
Christ.
also were hoping that, right?
Yeah, what a fucking commercial. So the commercial is Cartoon Bear sells beer to scumbag man who fucking robs them, flips them off. So Cartoon Bear tries to murder the man. Drink beer. That's the commercial.
The only reason that guy didn't drown is because the water wasn't deep enough. He was able to stand in it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Because if he's fucking shit-faced, he ain't gonna be able to fucking like tread water, you know?
I guess not.
You know, how much of this beer did he have?
Jesus Christ almighty.
Don't go on inner tubes drunk. Inner tube responsibly.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should move on to the next commercial. What do you think?
We did spend a lot of time on this. I don't know what's left to say about it. Did you have anything else? I'm trying to think.
Nah, that's it.
I had thoughts while we were watching it, and then I don't remember them once we're done watching it and we talk about it.
Why is it because of all the booze and all the pot?
Yes.
From childhood?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the fucking lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fucking do this shit ever, and if you're gonna do it, make sure you fucking accomplish something with your life and you're an adult before you fucking get into this shit.
What age would you say is a good time to start? Like, you know, maybe
I would say for anything like this,
I'm gonna say like maybe dabbling in alcohol and marijuana.
I say don't.
Either.
I say don't. But
Ever.
if you're going to,
yeah.
I would say okay.
I say don't as well, but if you're going
I
to.
say don't, but if you're going to, there's two important factors. The first important factor is make sure your body's fucking fully developed, because you don't want to stunt your growth. You don't want to stunt your cognitive functionability. That's number one. And number two, these substances, any type of drug, but you know, even beer and even marijuana, even the lower level ones compared to like cocaine or whatever. I mean, like if you don't, they could fucking like put you into a place in your life where you fucking spiral out of control. So if you're gonna fucking do something like this, you know, I would really recommend that not only, you know, on top of the biological aspect of being fully developed before you try this, you should also be professionally developed before you try this. Because if you fucking like, if you don't accomplish anything in your life and you're young and you go ahead and you develop a fucking alcohol habit or a fucking pot habit, it's like the chances of you of being able to accomplish anything professionally or of any type of like worth with regards to a career or it's going to diminish. I mean, I really believe that like any type of aspiration you might have to accomplish something might be fucking hindered if you get fucking hooked on fucking pot or you become an alcoholic on top of any other worse drug.
Man, so you're talking about people who they become very heavily involved with marijuana specifically and alcohol, and then as a consequence they just kind of just fucking lose motivation and become shiftless and just kind of float through life with no ambition and don't really ever accomplish anything, and their lives are just a fucking waste.
Yeah, I think you could
do you know anybody like that you could say would be like a good example of how that could happen?
I would say you can go to most schools, most high schools, and you could see it already happening there.
Yeah, but do you know of anybody right now who you could point to say this is a good example of what I'm talking about?
No.
Is there any really convenient example that's maybe in this room with you right now that you're going to say no?
Because I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I mean, like you've done a lot of like things in that regard that I was just talking about, but you've always had a passion for something. You've always had a passion for something, and you've always tried to pursue it to the best of your ability. You know, I don't think that you are the worst case scenario here. I don't even think you're a bad scenario. I think like you faced the potential for being fucked up in that regard by potentially like getting your life ruined by you know, drugs, alcohol. But I would say at the same time, you were one of the rare ones who was always able to have something else you were really interested in that you devoted your time to, whether it was like writing or fucking drumming or anything, any of your endeavors. You know, whether you want to say you were ultimately financially successful or professionally successful as a result, that's not really the case. That doesn't really matter. It's that you had something else that always brought you out of that. And I also like to think that, you also had some good influences in your life, such as your mother and your good friend Pussy over here. So I wouldn't say that.
So you think I turned out okay?
I think you turned out fantastic.
I can say something, one sentence right now that will convince you of the opposite.
Okay, what's that?
Do you think that the bear in those commercials hibernates?
Oh, I fucking hate you. All right, let's move on to the next.
You still think that now?
Let's move on to the next.
You still think that now?
You fucking waste of life.
This next commercial, actually, it requires a very special introduction. This was a listener suggested commercial. And I received an email that reads as follows. First of all, the suggestion is from Sushi Tuna or Rolo Tuna. I'm not sure what they go by. I don't know what their Twitch name is, or I don't know.
So tuna sushi and fucking like tuna rolls, great.
Yeah, I mean, you got me on board.
Now we're gonna have to get fucking sake after this.
Is there any place right now where we could get some fucking? I don't want sake. I want like Sapporo, like a nice tall glass of Sapporo.
We'll get some fucking Sapporo.
How late? What time is it? Can we everything's closed? Fucking sushi places are closed, motherfucker. All right, whatever. Anyway, let me read this email to you guys.
Sure.
As a huge fan of your podcast, I would like to share the abominable bilge YouTube strapped me down and forced me to endure in full before watching the actual content I came for. That was all it said in the email, and I got a link to this. Please enjoy.
What's the name of it?
I'm trying to fucking find out right now. Please enjoy this new Airheads commercial that's called Subway.
Want to play?
Bumper heads here?
Why not? Come on. Want to play?
Airheads. Play more, play delicious.
Hey, pussy.
What's up, Mike?
Wanna play?
Okay, can we start
You wanna play, pussy?
by acknowledging how fucking creepy that guy was?
You wanna play? Hey, you wanna play?
I imagine that.
Play.
I imagine that's how like pedophiles
Hey, let's
always
play.
talk.
Hey, look, I got some candy.
Hey, you wanna play?
Inflate your head, make your head real big and bouncy.
Hey, you see how erect I am in my pants on the subway?
Yeah, this is a fucking very fucking viscerally uncomfortable fucking commercial.
This is fucking creepy as fuck.
I hate this on every fucking level.
This
Abominable bilge. You didn't go far enough to describe this, Sushi. This is like a crime against humanity. This fucking commercial.
Well,
I think I speak for all of us. And you know what? You want to hear the best part? This commercial played before one of our episodes. Somebody came to watch our podcast and had to sit through this.
it has.
How does that make you feel?
It has more dislikes than it has likes.
This is incredible. So the video has 106,000 views. It's got 625 likes. It's got 808 dislikes. Scratch that 800 and 1 second. 809 dislikes.
Click.
Click. Should we look at the comments a little bit for this?
No, not yet. Listen. Let's get to the.
You want to
content
give
of
it your analysis, please?
Okay,
Please go.
First off, this subway seems to be like New York. It says 20 when they enter.
I don't see a single puddle of piss.
Dude,
I don't see shit stains on the walls.
There's no fucking.
Look at that. That's pristine.
No one's getting.
No
stabbed.
subway fucking terminal in New York City looks like that.
No one's getting stabbed.
I'm not seeing even like a fucking like a half stab.
There's no piles of piss. There's no homeless people, fucking like taking refuge from the cold. They're trying to make this look like the New York subway, which I take every single fucking day of my life.
Yeah, don't look like that.
It looks nothing like it. The subway cars are completely.
Where's Pizza Rat? There's no Pizza Rat.
There's no fucking rats. Where are the rats? Where's the cockroaches? You can fucking eat maple walnut ice cream off that fucking floor. You can fucking eat maple walnut ice cream off that fucking floor.
Oh fuck.
That's a Sopranos reference, by the way. But But okay. So these three fucking like young adults get on this subway, okay, and then this guy fucking like takes out 3 bags of Airheads.
Why is he walking around with all those fucking Airheads?
Dude, and he's
why
creepy as fuck.
He's presenting
holding
it
them like
it's
drugs.
like it's a drug.
He's a fucking. You guys want to get high?
Yeah.
That's basically what he should have said.
It obviously it takes a lot of inspiration from some of those fucking Gushers commercials that we were watching during that other episode.
It's like a fucking ripoff of the Gushers commercials.
The body horror stuff. It's still the ripples of that are still being felt in today's fucking advertising world. You know, I think it's an awful fucking thing. That should have died in the 90s. All right, that should fucking be back there rotting in the fucking ground where it belongs.
Why is it a trope for garbage sugar candy?
For candy to fucking have some kind of body horror shit attached to it. I don't know. It's a trope.
Heads.
It's a trope.
Fucked up heads.
And back then we were comparing the Gushers to drugs, and this is more like it's drugs.
So wait a minute. We're right. Fucking candy companies try to market their candy as though they're fucking like they're drugs.
It's something forbidden.
They're so addictive to drugs.
It's something forbidden. It's something taboo.
Like they're fucking they're garbage candy, sugar fucking garbage, whatever. Take your fucking variety flavor of sugar garbage.
Yeah.
That's all this candy ever is.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were hanging out at Mike's brother's house a few days ago, and his niece was eating some candy, and Mike was like, "Oh, what are you eating?" And I looked at him. I said, "Take your pick of whatever fucking sugar garbage it is."
And
it's
then
all
she
the same
ran away
shit.
and cried.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that, loud enough so she could hear.
No, he didn't.
But it's the
He
truth.
didn't.
All of this, like fruit roll-ups, Airheads.
It was like
Gushers.
human. It was like human.
Like, how dare you? How dare you?
Remember when you flipped me off? But
Yeah, like
oh,
human.
by the way, that's what I want to say. The fucking beer commercials.
Yeah.
I want to point this out. I forgot. Does the fucking bear flip you off at the end of the third one?
I think he does. Yeah.
Go back and watch it. He gives the fucking camera the middle finger.
But listen, Mike, like, how dare you fucking ask me, like, what is that? Oh, niece, what are you eating? What are you eating? Like, what do you think it is? It's fucking, it's 2 things. It's garbage. That's the first component. The second component is sugar.
Sugar garbage.
So it's like, take your choice. What type of sugar garbage you want? You want Airhead sugar garbage? You want fucking Gushers sugar garbage? You want fucking Tootsie Roll sugar garbage?
It's just doing the same thing to your body.
It's garbage.
And it probably
sugar.
tastes almost exactly the same.
You can't taste the difference. Yeah. You can't taste the difference once you eat real food. It tastes, that's why I call it sugar garbage. Because once you eat real food constantly and your palate changes to fucking normal foods and you eat any of this stuff, it all tastes like one thing. Sugar garbage.
This broadcast brought to you by the Anti-Sugar League.
The Anti-Sugar Garbage League. So seriously, we're starting to understand something with these sugar garbage companies, is that they market their product as though it's so addictive it might as well be an illegal drug.
Wanna play?
Oh my god, how fucking creepy is that fuck?
Wanna play? So they get on the fucking subway, which by the way
is
empty.
Not the subway.
Why are they the only 3 people on the fucking train?
It's so clean, and this fucking dude. Listen, the subways in New York.
Are there even advertisements on that fucking car?
There's no advertisements.
There's nothing.
There's no
just white walls
advertisements
and no people. That should be elbow to elbow. Really uncomfortable. Everybody's fucking. People have their face in each other's armpits. It's sweaty. It smells like shit.
Yeah, it's fucking face to crotch.
Somebody's fucking breastfeeding in one chair. There's another guy fucking cutting his toenails. Who's fucking wearing sandals, cutting his toenails.
Do you remember that fucking that video of the guy from years ago eating like a wedge of brie cheese with his hand on the subway?
No, but that's
dude. You sent me the video.
No, I don't.
There was a guy on the fucking subway just fucking like
shoveling cheese into his fucking mouth.
He had no fucking no spoon, no fork. He opened up a circular thing of fucking brie cheese and was shoveling it into his mouth,
using his hand as like a spoon.
Yeah,
like Pussy just did the motion with his hand, like a scooper, like in a scoop shape.
I don't even think he was drunk. I think it was just like rush hour traffic and he was hungry.
Yeah. Man's gotta eat.
Fucking guys, oh my god, the subway is it's an interesting place. I can tell you that.
So they get on the train, right? They take the Gushers, the fucking Airheads. Don't eat the
sugar
Airheads.
Garbage. Just say sugar garbage.
The sugar garbage.
Don't even bother saying.
Now
Gushers
notice
Airheads.
that their heads inflate into air heads because the candy
she
is
said,
called Airheads.
What did the chick say? Do you want a bumper here? right? What did she say?
A bumper?
Right? When he was like, you wanna play? The pedophile in the beginning, the pedophile drug dealer, he unfurled
Can you
his
stop?
drugs.
What are you, fucking Elon Musk? Can you stop calling people pedophiles, please?
That's what he sounds like and he looks like. Okay? He fucking, like, in the look on his voice, the fucking look on his face. Like, he
looks like a fucking crack fiend.
Fucking, like, he's fiending for children. And he's just fucking
Christ.
he unfurls his fucking sugar garbage bags and he's like, wanna play? And then the chick looks at him and says, you want a bumper here? That's what
You know
it
how
is.
sometimes in movies, when they show you a drug sequence, right? You see it through like the perspective of the character, and it's all like wacky and wondrous, and like, whoa, cool, I'm high, and I'm tripping balls, man, wow. But then you see it from outside the perspective, and it's just a fucking junkie like slumped in a corner with a needle hanging out of his arm. That was just what was happening in their heads.
Yeah.
Like, this was like, these people were just passed out fucking drooling on themselves on the subway. That's why there was nobody else in the car.
Yeah.
Because people were fucking getting on to go to work. They were like, oh, there's bodies in there.
Because
oh,
we're
let's not get on
observing
this
a
car.
delusion.
They're observing a fucking delusion.
Yeah.
But say it's real. What happens to your head? It fills with air. Wouldn't that just make your head explode? Their heads became elastic.
You know what
right?
this is?
And then they started slamming their heads into each other. It was like, you're coming out of this with significant brain damage.
You know,
if you didn't go into it with fucking brain damage to begin with.
Listen, just watching that
probably a safe assumption.
Just watching that commercial will give you significant fucking brain damage. Okay, I'll say that.
Also, did their body shrink?
You know what happens?
Their body shrank.
You know what happened? This
is a fetish. Somebody's gonna watch this and have like their first like awakening to it.
This universe.
Like, someone's gonna be. This fucking commercial is inventing a new fucking like porn genre.
Oh, they want to fuck the air hole. They want to fuck the hole on the bottom.
I'm just saying, it's like inflation. Do you know about inflation?
No.
We're gonna keep it that way for now.
Okay, good.
We're gonna keep it that way for now. This is gonna be the new way. They're not gonna be able to put it on Tumblr. Well, there's no female presenting nipples. She stays clothed for this. Maybe it'll be okay.
You know what this is?
What?
This is
deviant art, deviant air.
This is a universe that
alternate universe.
It's an alternate universe that is shared with the Gushers alternate universe. So there's not like the alternate Airhead universe and the alternate Gushers universe. Yeah. Sugar garbage. There is a universe out there that is sugar garbage dominated, and
this
for
takes
whatever
place
reason,
in that same universe where the Gushers thing took place.
And for whatever reason, it depends on what type of sugar garbage you want. It like shoots into your brain fucking gamma rays and fucking makes you like fucking like tumorous, and that's what's happening to their heads. That's why it's changing. That's what the sugar garbage does. It fucking gives you tumors, and then you fucking your head shapes in a different way, and that's what this alternative universe is all about.
So they're slamming their fucking heads into each other. What would be your first thought?
That's called the NFL.
What would...
that's football in this fucking universe. Okay, bumping or whatever the fuck they termed it. That's this universe's NFL.
Will Smith is gonna play the pedophile in a movie one day. So when they get on the fucking train, all right? Say you get on a train. And you fucking legit see that. What's your first thought?
Am I in this universe or are we in the normal universe?
We're in the normal universe, just for the sake.
If I see that, I'm think like someone must have slipped me something.
You think that you're tripping balls?
Yeah, someone must have fucking fucking put something in a drink.
Okay.
And I drank it, and now I'm fucking like, whoa, what the fuck's happening?
My first thought would be, I think, biological terrorism attack.
Biological warfare?
Biological fucking attack. To fuck whatever they put something in the fucking like the air fucking circulation system.
And that's another thing we have to worry about on the fucking subway.
And that's a real concern, right, in New York City. So if you see that in New York City, their heads are fucking just expanding.
It's a security concern.
That's a fucking is that gonna happen to me? Like that maybe that's why nobody got on the fucking car.
Like
maybe that's why the car was empty.
Because everybody's dead. Like fucking like.
Do you think they survived that? You're not. What, the head deflates and you're okay? That's not what happens. They're dead. They're dead.
These people in this commercial have obviously done this before. It seems like
That's a
they've done
good
this
point.
before.
That's a good point.
Or maybe this is like, you know what this is like? Oh, I figured it out. It's like when fucked up people in a cult decide that they're gonna fucking kill themselves.
Oh, like some Jonestown
Like
shit.
like they have some type of like suicide pact.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
want to do it
yeah.
in a fucked
They're gonna
up
ride the
public
comet.
way.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. This is how they do it. This is an epidemic in this universe. In the sugar garbage universe, people take their sugar garbage. It fucking changes the molecular structure of their brain. It gives them fucking tumors and all that shit, and they fucking terrorize everyone and everything, and then they never recover from it. They die because, at least with gushers, sometimes they never reverted back.
Oh, that was
They
what we
never
decided.
reverted back.
Those kids went through the rest of their fucking lives with fruits for heads.
They died.
Most of them did not make it to adulthood.
They
no.
probably died. Like
Most of them
like
did not
three-
make it to
like
adulthood.
Within 3
There's
years.
obviously debilitating fucking medical issues that
Yeah.
come with having like a cherry or like a slice of watermelon for a fucking head.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
molecular
these kids.
structure
I mean,
change.
if they do go back to normal afterwards, maybe it's a different case. If they do, and then maybe because again, maybe they did do it a couple of times. How many times do you think you're going to be able to fucking do that before it kills you? Maybe you can survive it a couple of times. But your fucking brain, your skull, your nervous system, it's not going to be able to handle that.
Well, the linebackers in the NFL only have like a career of like 3 years or something, right?
Right. I mean, and again, it's a drug. It's doing fucking significant damage. Now, couple this with the fact that these kids are watching that the fucking beer commercials involving fucking very obviously geared towards children cartoons have never been outlawed, and you've got some fucking a real lost generation.
This is what could have been our world.
Very easily if we made different choices.
This could, but at least our subway would have looked beautiful.
Actually, come to think of it,
Yeah,
it might admit that the rest of it might. Be okay.
It's pretty worth it.
Makes
actually,
it all
now
worth
I think
it.
about it.
Makes all of it worth it. Look at that pristine subway.
If I get a subway that beautiful that I could fucking I could fucking bathe. I could walk around naked and nothing would happen badly. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you leave
like
the subway
that's a beautiful fucking.
I've never exited a subway station in New York and not had my fucking my shoes sticking to the floor with piss.
I think
and grime.
I'm trying to figure out what is the worst subway station that I've been in, and part of me wants to say Chambers Street in Manhattan. Another part of me wants to say Bowery. I'm trying to think of where. Oh yeah. Oh God, the Fulton stop downtown.
Oh, that one where you feels like you got plungers for shoes,
dude. I don't know.
That's
what
it feels like. You just fucking got plungers on the bottom on the soles of your shoes.
There was a period of like 6 months.
Like some fucking Acme device to help you catch the Roadrunner.
There was a period of like 6 months that I was getting off at this Fulton stop, where every single time I got off it, it's like there was no immediate exit from the subway platform to the street. You'd have to stay underground for like at least like a minute and a half before you got to like surface.
Yeah.
Every time I would pull into the stop before the doors open in the subway and I would get off, I would go I would breathe in as much as I can, because as soon as those doors open, just a fucking waft of like putrid
piss,
fucking garbage and like unbathed like homeless and fucking piss and shit and dead fucking rats. I don't know why this was happening at fucking Fulton, but it's like I didn't even want to keep my eyes open because I didn't want the air to hit my fucking eyeballs. That's how fucking bad it was. I would hold my breath and I would try to like walk as fast as I can until like I can't hold my breath for a minute and a half. So I would try to walk as fast as I can to get to the top, but it was inevitable. I would have to take a fucking breath in, and it was biological warfare. That's fucking biological warfare.
Yeah. You don't need the help of sugar garbage.
No, fucking I will gladly trade whatever the hellish reality is in this fucking commercial if I get a subway like this and I never have to experience fucking piss-soaked Chambers Street or fucking Fulton Street. That's just I don't even know what it is. It's a confluence of several types of horrors.
So at the end of the commercial,
we got an old lady.
And Grandma Juicy's
Grandma
standing
Juicy.
outside, right?
Grandma fucking Gushers.
George.
Grandma Juicy.
And then they ask Grandma Juicy if she wants to play.
Yeah, she's totally into it.
Did she looks like she's digging it to you?
Doesn't she do it at the end? I think she does it at the end.
No, you don't. No. You don't see the fucking. She doesn't have the big. It's implied that she fucking takes.
Well, she takes a bite of one of them.
Does
doesn't
she? I'm gonna look
we gotta,
again.
Yeah, we gotta take a quick look at this. Look. Oh my god!
Because now it's affecting. Nah, she doesn't take a bite.
God,
but it's affecting, fucking
her face.
Like the older generation as well. Like nobody is safe from this.
This guy was safe. At the beginning of the video, there's a guy getting off the fucking subway. Thank God for him. That's like the guy who was supposed to go to work on 9/11.
Yeah,
but fucking like missed the bus.
Yeah.
That's what this guy is at the beginning of the fucking
Jesus
of the
fucking
thing.
Christ.
He has no idea what hell he just escaped from.
These fucking kids. It's like. Also, they don't have anything better to do.
That's what happens when you're into drugs.
It's the point that you made earlier.
That's what happens when you're into drugs.
They're just riding the rails.
You just riding the rails.
Riding the rails back and forth.
You lose your ambition, and the only thing that you want to do is you want to get high again, or you want to fucking keep on being drunk.
In this case, you want to get literally high, as in if you fucking take that outdoors, right? If you eat one of these Airheads outdoors,
oh fuck,
are you gone?
A pigeon.
Like you're going up into the fucking like the stratosphere.
A pigeon's gonna fucking take you out. We got hawks in the fucking city now.
That's true.
We got fucking hawks. Are you kidding me? Fucking hawks gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck that up. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna fuck that up.
Just poked the beak into the balloon head, and you're fucking done.
The claws, the talons.
You'll be dead before you hit the ground.
Nah, you're dead. You're dead instantaneously. That hawk could take you out.
Could have applications in avionics, however. Maybe they'll get jobs after all.
Did you just say could have applications in avionics?
Yeah. No?
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
Just trying to look on the bright side
sure.
here.
Yeah, sure. They got jobs in avionics, sure. Maybe they become weather balloons.
Hey, if a fucking ship goes down, they can be flotation devices to help get people to safety.
Yeah, in case like another hurricane happens in Manhattan and the subways flood, like you could breathe air out of their fucking heads so that... Actually, that would have been really helpful when I was getting off fucking Fulton Street.
Yeah, if you had somebody like that with you, you could just like make out with him for a second.
I could just
suck some oxygen from his fucking inflated head. Use him like a fucking like a personal oxygen supply.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, moving on to the next commercial.
The next commercial that we have here. Thank you again, Sushi Tuna or Roller Tuna.
Thank you. Very nice commercial.
To wrap it up here tonight, we've got another suggestion from a viewer. This time from somebody named Omni Mula. And it is, in fact, a advertisement for Google Lens, not Google Glass, as I stated earlier.
Which is on the Pixel 3, which is their phone. So I'm assuming it's some type of, like filter that helps you. Well, we'll see. We'll see from the
We're going to watch the commercial. We'll figure it out together. Here it is, Google Lens for Pixel 3.
This is our first glimpse of the Eiffel Tower. That's so cool.
Look at these guys. The beautiful, sweet giraffe. Very nice. Very, very nice.
It's a nice Friday afternoon. Really beautiful area. There'll be thousands and thousands of roses here.
This is another one of my favorite things right here. Tangerines.
Whoa, look at this guy. Dude, that is a weird-looking frog.
Pretty grand entrance. And there's the man, Thomas Jefferson, right there.
Now we are entering the room where Mona Lisa is. Beautiful smile.
This is a sweet potato, pretty much.
Hang on. Now I'm looking it up.
Don't do the accent again.
It's the Arène de Lutèce.
And you did it.
Oh, it's a Jergee. Jergee?
I guess the tangerine's different. Can't remember everything.
All right, there it is. Pixel 3. Google Lens. I fucking hate it. First impressions, pussy?
My impression is, well, I suppose it's less about the commercial and more about what the commercial says or suggests about the state of humanity.
What do you mean by that? I'm confused because I'm a regular, ordinary, average consumer of products made by Google. So I don't much know nothing about no words and such. So I'm just gonna go ahead and explain that to old Jabroni Mike in real slow, simple fashion, like, so that I understand it in my simple, dumb brain.
He's actually drooling. He's actually drooling. Well, stop. They can't. I already told them they're drooling. You can stop drooling now. He's still fucking drooling. Okay. There's a fucking vein in his forehead popping out when he did that one. Look, don't get me wrong. I get confused. Sometimes I don't know what a fruit really is. I think it's something else. I don't know every fucking.
If you don't know what the Eiffel Tower looks like, you just. It's not possible. It's not possible.
You don't.
It is not possible for a fucking adult human to not know what the Eiffel Tower looks like. I don't believe it for a second. And maybe that's the point. Maybe it's supposed to be a joke. You don't know what a fucking tomato looks like? Who the fuck doesn't know what a tomato looks like? I'll give them the deer thing. I had no fucking idea what that was.
Gerenuk.
I know what the fucking Gerenuk is. Fine. But you know what? What did she say it was?
A giraffe?
She called it a giraffe.
I think she said it was a giraffe.
Implying that she doesn't know what a giraffe looks like.
She knows that a giraffe has a long neck, and that looked like it had a long neck, but obviously not the length of a giraffe. Did she say giraffe? I don't know. I could be making that up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if I see something like that, you know what and I don't know what it's called, I'm going to say, oh, look, a deer thing.
Yeah.
Because that's safe.
It is a deer thing.
Right? I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I think that's a springbok when I have no fucking idea. No, I'm going to be like, my African mammals aren't up to, snuff, maybe. It's a little bit hazy. I get these things confused sometimes.
Listen,
I don't know what the fuck that is. I'll call it a deer thing.
They're all bad examples.
Even if I say antelope thing, I think I'm safe.
They're all bad examples because, or good examples rather, whichever way you want to phrase it.
It's exaggerating it perhaps to drive home the point.
Okay,
maybe is what they're going for. It's supposed to be funny. It just made me angry. I at no point was amused by that in the slightest. It just pissed me off.
Most adults who would be inclined towards going to a museum know what the Mona Lisa looks like.
Yes.
Most people who are visiting Washington, D.C., the monuments, most likely know what Abraham fucking Lincoln looks like.
Does it not say Lincoln fucking Memorial up there somewhere?
Maybe
on the wall behind the statue.
Look, there's something that I gotta say.
There's no indication that that's Abraham Lincoln anywhere on the building. How did he fucking find the place? He found it with a map. And that map is definitely going to be clearly labeled Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
So that means that not only is he fucking brain dead because he's never seen that thing before in his life, but it also means that he's completely illiterate.
And he's like, he's
at that point.
This guy is visiting Washington, D.C., so he's already in the nation's capital, okay? He's going to the monuments, so obviously he's going to have some type of understanding of American famous presidential Americans, okay? And
otherwise, he wouldn't be there if he didn't give a shit.
Abraham Lincoln has to be probably one of the most identifiable American presidents.
But again, that's why they picked Lincoln. That's why they picked the fucking tomato. That's why they picked the fucking Eiffel Tower.
Hold on a second, Mike. Here's the thing.
The Mona Lisa.
Are these real examples or are these all made up? Is this just fabricated for a fucking wacky commercial? Or were those all fucking real instances of people illustrating their stupidity and their ignorance?
You could not convince me that wasn't acting, if that's what you're asking me. It's not. It is acting. It is acting.
You think it's acting?
Yeah.
You sure?
Because don't forget, at the end of the commercial, they went ahead and corrected themselves after they used the fucking Google Glass. Remember when the Google Lens came in? And somebody was like, oh, don't do the accent. And then he was like, oh, you did the accent anyway. Which, by the way, he didn't do the accent. There's only one way to pronounce what he said. Fuck everything about this commercial.
You want to know something? I'll tell you what. Those seem legitimate instances to me. And if they are
the Mona Lisa and the Eiffel Tower and he said a tomato was a what?
It wasn't sweet potato. He said tangerines.
A tangerine.
They're tangerines.
Size of a tangerine. A ruby the size of a tangerine.
Okay, I'll tell you what. You want to know something? Even if these aren't real
They're not real.
occurrences...
No, they're not real. I refuse to fucking believe it.
They are representative of real occurrences. There's plenty of stupid people out there.
Do you honestly believe that there's somebody dumb enough over the age of, I'm gonna say, like 15? Is there somebody that's fucking dumb enough to not know what the Eiffel Tower looks like?
You're looking at him. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
There's not.
And you know why? You know why? This goes back to what you and I were talking about
Education?
in a private conversation that we had before the podcast. It goes back to the state of education in this country, but all over the world.
It's impossible for you to go through fucking 15 years of life and to not encounter a fucking image of the Eiffel Tower or the Mona Lisa or a tomato and associate that name with that thing.
Mike,
if you didn't learn it in school, if you didn't learn what the Eiffel Tower looks like in school, then you saw it in a movie. You saw it on television.
You can probably find videos on YouTube of people trying to get like celebrities to identify who is Hitler and what he did.
A more obscure monument I will give you. I won't give you Adolf Hitler. I'll give you like Winston Churchill. The only reason I'm not going to give you Adolf Hitler is because of the mustache. The mustache is too iconic. If you see that fucking mustache, you think it's fucking Hitler.
There are some people,
you see Charlie Chaplin and you're like, oh, that's Hitler.
There are some people in this world who, for whatever reason, either because of their... Dude, there are so many stupid fucking people out there who get into drugs, get into alcohol. This is a very topical fucking podcast that we're doing. You know, starting with the fucking abuse of alcohol and the potential abuse for weed when in underage kids. The fucking second commercial, the Airheads, is all about fucking drugs and the fucking glorifying the drug culture of fucking like garbage sugar or whatever. And now we get to this. We get now to fucking people being so fucking stupid as a result of all the drugs that they've been ingesting since childhood that they can't even fucking tell you who fucking Abraham Lincoln is or Adolf Hitler is. And I'm telling you, man, I've personally met people in my own fucking family who have not graduated from even high school, fucking like fucking bounced out of fucking high school, and if you showed them a picture of fucking Hitler, they wouldn't be able to tell you who he is or what he did or even what fucking country he was from. There are plenty of stupid fucking people over the age of 15 who the education system has failed them if they even gave the education a shot.
You would have to go out of your fucking way to have legitimate ignorance of what the Eiffel Tower looks like.
You're really thinking that type of ignorance does not exist in this world?
And what a tomato is.
You show somebody...
Maybe I just don't want to believe this.
Dude, let's say somebody, for example, who lives in one of the southern states of the United States of America, right? Who lives in a rural place, who, you know, doesn't have a very, very big education and doesn't have like any type of worldly ambition.
Do you have television?
Just watches TV or
then they know what the Eiffel Tower is.
Or just watches fucking Fox News or doesn't even watch that. Or just fucking like lives in a cornfield. You think you show this person a picture of the Eiffel Tower and they're gonna even tell you where it is?
Yes.
I disagree with you. And I'm just using that as one example of somebody. There's plenty
these things
of fucking...
are too. If they had gone with more obscure, like maybe if it was like the Arc de Triomphe or something. Maybe I could see somebody not knowing that they're looking at the Arc de Triomphe or mistaking something else for the Arc de Triomphe, provided it was a fucking actual arc.
Michael, you have too much faith in man's natural inclination towards overcoming ignorance.
Interesting you say that. Speaking of ignorance and dumbasses, when we were talking about when we were looking up the Hamm's beer company earlier tonight, get some info on what was going on there. It was revealed to me that Pussy does not know where Minnesota is on a map.
Yeah, see, this is exactly the point that I was
thought
making.
This would be a fun project to see if Pussy is a bad American. Right?
Okay.
Now,
okay.
Here we go.
No.
Now,
this proves my point.
Now, which one of these things? Now, I have him looking at a map of the United States with all the state lines very clearly defined, but none of the states are labeled. I will put this image in the in the video. I'm going to ask Pussy to, with his index finger, point on this map which one of these states is Minnesota. Pussy.
Okay, before I do this, I want to say something. I'll do this, but before I do this, I want to say something.
Stop biting for time.
Before I do this, I want to say something. And I will say it has a lot to do with my argument about education. Before I fucking put my fucking finger on this fucking bullshit map, okay?
Go ahead.
What am I looking at? Minnesota?
Minnesota.
That's apparently where Hamm's is from, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Clear.
So before I do this,
sky blue water.
Before I do this, I've been complaining about the state of education for so long. And you want to know something? I'm going to bring it back to high school. We had conversations in high school about how we don't know where any of these fucking places are. We don't know what the states are. It would be great to have a class about geography.
I actually do remember having that conversation with you.
Yeah. We never got that class. If we were ever going to learn geography, guess what? We weren't taught it in fucking school. As a matter of fact, when we were in college together, when Mike and I were in college together, we decided to take a class that was called geography, precisely because both of us were very interested in where these states were, where these countries were geographically, and more information about that.
We had to take it upon ourselves to go out of our way to try to learn any of that shit
because
in an academic setting.
So when we got to college,
I never learned. Nobody ever tried to teach me that in grade school or high school.
No one tried to teach that to me either.
Yeah.
And when we got to college, finally in our freshman year, there was a course called geography that was offered to us.
And they didn't teach us any of that course either.
No, they did not.
It was like topography.
It was
really.
like
they should have called it like.
It was like topography. It was like fucking like fault lines and fucking like elevation lines.
How to read elevations
and like
on a map and things like that.
It was like earth science shit.
It was earth science shit.
We fucking tried to take a class for geography, and it had nothing to do with fucking like, hey, where the fuck is Montana? And on that fucking note, I'll say, where am I looking? Montana?
Minnesota
is I have a feeling it's in like the north central like part of America. So
I'm
gonna say this is Illinois. This is Michigan right here. That's Illinois, right? No.
I'm not answering.
I'm gonna say
you put your finger on the
I'm gonna say
TikTok.
Fuck. I'm gonna say one of these is Minnesota.
You can't do that.
I'm gonna say one of these.
You can't do that.
I just stated.
Put your finger on one of those fucking states.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's this one.
That is North Dakota, you dumb bitch.
That's Minnesota.
That's Montana, you dumb fuck.
I fucking knew it was Montana.
But I didn't ask you to find Montana. I asked you to find Minnesota.
Where is it? Point to it.
That one. That's where all the cheese comes from.
All right.
Actually, no.
Okay.
That's Wisconsin.
That's Wisconsin. You fuck.
Which is
you
this one?
Fucking moron.
Which is this one?
And ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know that the fucking state I picked literally was west. He
was one state off. He was
one state west. That's it.
One state. He was right next to it. He came close.
I gave him my best shot for a fucking person who was never taught this, and fuck. And I've never been there either. If I'd been there, I would have known. So I was right. This was Illinois, right? This is Illinois.
That is, in fact.
That's Illinois, and that's
okay,
Minnesota.
I'll be honest with you here. No, that's Illinois. Yeah. No,
okay, so that's Illinois. That's Minnesota.
Here's a problem that I have, right?
Oh, this is Michigan. That's Michigan.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's Wisconsin.
That's Wisconsin.
You see this fucking like two-parter guy?
Uh-huh.
Right? This upper peninsula and this mitten is both Michigan. That's like one state, even though it's separated by a little bit of water.
Well,
that's all Michigan.
Too bad I didn't have fucking Google Lens.
Here's my beef. Yeah, there you go. Would have helped out. But here's my beef. That's Illinois. That's Indiana, and they have to be right the fuck next to each other like that.
Uh-huh.
Right? You see how like why did they did that to piss people off?
Why? What's your problem?
Because you get it confused, and they both start with I. And additionally,
well, I don't get those
that's Iowa.
Confused.
So you got 3 I-states next to each other, pissing each other off. God, I hope that's Iowa. Conveniently, Idaho is over here.
Well, I know what Idaho looks like. It's because it's a fucked up. You know which state looks the most fucked up to me? Fucking Maryland.
Maryland is fucked.
What the fuck? Look at that. Look at how it's shaped.
Yeah, it's got a dumb shape.
Look, it's got this little fucking triangle here.
Yeah, it's a
and
mess.
Then it cuts
Oh,
off.
it's a disgusting
Then it
mess.
comes over to like
Disgusting.
a fucking
Disgusting
oblong
fucking
triangle, and then you got a series of like whatever's going
You
on.
got
over
Delaware takes a big chunk out of it, and then on the bottom here, that little dangly bit is actually Virginia.
Fucking Delaware, man.
That's Virginia. Virginia gets that dangly bit.
Maryland, listen, I got to be honest with you. I've been there a bunch of times. I really like the state, especially the beaches and all that. But you got a fucked up looking state.
You got to get your act together down there.
You got a fucked up looking state.
It's a mess, and I'm sick of looking at it.
But
I'm
I tell
also
you what,
sick of looking at this bitch. This came up when I streamed Fallout 76. Good job.
West Virginia, right?
But the only reason you figured that out is because I told you that was Virginia.
No, I know the Northeast.
Right?
Okay,
so
look, Maine, right? Maine, Vermont. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Same shit.
No.
Shit.
No.
That's
wrong,
Connecticut.
wrong,
No, that's
wrong.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's Connecticut.
Good.
That's New York. That's New Jersey. That's Pennsylvania. That's Maryland. That's fucking Delaware. That's Virginia, West Virginia. That's North Carolina, South Carolina.
Good.
That's Georgia. That's Florida.
Good.
See?
What's that?
What's what?
What's that? What's
Arkansas?
immediately to the west of Georgia?
Arkansas?
It's absolutely not Arkansas.
It's Alabama.
It's Alabama.
And then it's Arkansas.
No, it's not.
And then it's what's west of Alabama?
That's Mississippi.
That's Mississippi?
Mhm.
I know what that is because fucking Louisiana has a pretty cool looking fucking state.
It's a foot state.
It's pretty cool looking. You
want to try Arkansas one more time?
Arkansas is like here. No, it's like here.
Ooh, he just pointed to fucking Arizona, guys.
Fuck. You know what? Fuck you. I'm done. I'm done. Podcast is over. How about that?
Podcast is over forever. Fuck you. No, but you know what? Even if you had the Google Lens, all right? I mean, think about it. How many times have you looked up something on the internet and it turned out to be wrong?
Well, that's why I try not to.
Right. So apparently their app did they personally oversee all the content? I assume it just fucking does an image search and gives you like the Wikipedia article that comes up.
It has to be
right?
just automatically linked up to like a Google image type of.
And their
situation.
thing is the end all be all. It's never fucking wrong. That's what they're saying.
Well, that's the problem with the internet. Like I was an actual. Okay, granted, I can't fucking tell you anything about geography, but. If you're like an actual student, like an actual student who learns how to research and write, it's not just fucking go on Wikipedia and read that. You need to independently verify the information you come across. You have to verify it by reading other sources and see if there's any type of conversing information that would indicate something that is or is not accurate. You do not get that when you fucking rely completely on the first fucking thing that pops up on your fucking search results. And that's what most people do. And that's not research. That's not how you educate yourself.
It's funny because the internet was supposed to make people more educated and more knowledgeable and have all this access to all this information at your fingertips, but it kind of made people lazier and dumber, didn't it?
I think it was a double-edged sword in that regard. It made people more aware and smarter, maybe in some areas, in some capacities, but in other areas, it's made them dumber. I mean, like the example, it's made them lose something, at least, let's say. Like take, for example, to use a less technological example and a little bit easier to understand. Like look at the difference between like writing on a piece of paper compared to typing on a typewriter, and then compare typing on a typewriter to writing on a word processor. Like along the way, like you gain something better, right? But you also lose something as a result of gaining something else. Like I don't know how to write in script, for example, because all my life I've been writing on a fucking computer. But then when you take into consideration that the benefit of writing on a computer, on a word processor, is that I can better edit my thoughts and put together a paper, and it's less work. and I could do it quicker and more efficiently. So I gain something, but I lose something. The fucking internet and like Google, it's exactly that, except on a fucking grander scale. So what people are losing, as far as I'm understanding, is that sense of independently verifying what they come across on the internet, and they take like whatever they first come across as like the truth or reality,
to the point where
or a
it's
direct source.
fucking now destabilizing democracy.
I don't think Google is destabilizing democracy.
I didn't say that. I said the idea that people are cool with just believing everything they see and then repeating it to other people and not verifying their fucking sources or anything like that. Not fucking getting multiple verifications of things. You know, they see things, and a lot of it's that confirmation bias thing we were talking about prior to recording this, where you have people that are just being like, well, seems like that's what I want to be true, so that's the truth now. Well, that's how it is. That's what those people do. That's the truth. It's like, nah, man, there's a lot of shit floating around out there that's just garbage.
Well,
there's a lot of shit floating around out there that's either completely falsified or exaggerated.
You know what?
Exaggerated.
You know what?
Did you see that article about the fucking Santa? Like, well, now the liberals are saying that they want Santa Claus to be gender neutral. Did you see that article?
No.
Did you see that fucking... Anybody who gives a shit about real world fucking social justice and fucking equality does not give a fuck about Santa Claus. They have real tangible things to worry about that are fucking impacting their lives in a negative way. They are not going to raise a fucking stink over a fucking fictional fucking magic man when there's real things that need to be fucking addressed.
What are you going to do with Santa Claus's wife? She just doesn't exist anymore?
Well, they're saying like you should fucking Santa Claus like should
Santa
be a
Claus,
girl was the article. Santa Claus can be a woman basically.
But wait a minute,
Santa Claus can be a woman or Santa Claus. You could depict Santa Claus as a woman if you want to.
But you can't, because Santa Claus is based on Saint Nicholas, which is a man.
Okay, sure, whatever. The point is, I'm saying that anybody who really fucking if there are people who are fucking championing this fucking cause, and this really is something that they need to make a big fucking deal about, and fucking just raise the stink over it and be loud about it, I'm saying it's like 3 fucking people, because if anybody who's actually involved in real fucking social justice work, they have real things to put time and effort into. That's not one of them.
You know.
And there's other examples of this, but I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's so far off topic.
To get it back to this.
And then everybody on like fucking right-wing social media was like, here we go again with the goddamn libtards. And it's like, I don't think that's really I don't think that's real, man.
Listen, what you're talking about right now.
It's being blown out of proportion.
It's so far
If one fucking idiot was like made a big deal about fuck, we should be able to depict Santa Claus as a woman, then fucking just fucking ignore it and continue your day. But they take it and they fucking run around with it like it's a fucking like a fucking hunting trophy to prove everything that they've known all along. It's like, see, I was right. They want to ruin Christmas by giving Santa Claus a vagina. Nobody gives a shit about Santa Claus's vagina. I don't. Do you?
You know, the thing about Google is that it's ironic and contradictory in the sense that, like, it exists and people utilize it as a way to learn about things they're interested in. But at the same time, it's a detriment because it really, even though it seems like people are exploring that sense of wonder they have about things they don't know and places they haven't been, so they fucking do Google searches. It's at the same time, you know, you think it's an expansion of knowledge, but it's really not that at all, because you're just looking up something, and then if all you're doing is taking the first fucking things that pop up as truth and reality, you're not figuring things out for yourself. You're not actually learning anything. You're not actually looking into anything. So I don't know if that's like causing a destruction of democracy, like you were saying. I think what it's doing is it's causing a destruction in the way people learn, and that they're not learning, and that they might still have that sense of exploration and wonder that they can explore on the Google searches.
I'm saying when you vote, you need to be informed. You need to have a fucking grasp of what's actually
if that's the
taking
case,
place around you.
In my opinion, if you want to, if you really, dude,
it's fucking Vladimir Putin shit again.
People who can vote, okay, you can vote when you're like 17 or 18 years old. Okay, you show me a 17 or an 18-year-old who fully fucking understands the nuances of American politics.
Fair, but you know, part of the reason
nobody, especially people who are voting for the first like couple times in their lives, are fucking really informed voters.
Part of the reason that I don't go on Facebook anymore is because I see people like adult fucking family and people that I've met throughout my life, adults, sharing a story and being like, oh my God, can you believe what the other side is doing now? Look at this madness. And you see the headline and it's something so fucking absurd where any rational person would be like, oh my God, that's not right. And then you go click on the link to see the story. And this fucking website is fucking completely obscure, fucking nothing. It came from nowhere.
Well, you know,
it's completely invalid. It's a fake story. That's fucking real. Fake stories.
Mike,
that's not.
What's happening there is that people aren't real. That's not even an example of people like having a sense of wonder and then like trying to figure something out, as much as it is what you just said. It's a sense of confirmation bias. People have something they believe, and then they go out in the world looking for other people who aren't going to challenge them and perhaps broaden their world viewpoint. They're simply looking for a so-called source of information that will confirm their biases. Now, that's the thing.
Reaffirmed.
You want to talk about like sources of information? I mean, dude, we can't get into this right now because this is a fucking can of worms. But you know, like if you really want like a legitimate source of information, you have to ask yourself how objective are the facts being presented?
These people are not asking themselves that.
They're not looking for facts.
They aren't verifying these fucking... most of these people, I swear to God, don't even read the fucking article, because if they clicked on the link, it would be obvious that it was horseshit. They just see the fucking headline and they fucking reblog it or whatever.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem with letting people feel like they should be expressing every thought that comes into their fucking head. And that's the problem. That's the opportunity that social media proposes to people. It's like, especially Twitter. It's like anything you have in your fucking head right now, share it with the world. The world needs to hear. And it's like, well, you can still now, regardless of whether social media exists or not, you know, pre-internet days, you could still be stupid and you could still say something dumb and wrong. And that's fine. The only thing is now we know what everybody's doing and saying. We know all the stupid shit they want to say because of the internet. It doesn't stop that. It doesn't mean, it's not just like, oh, hey, Twitter came into existence and people started thinking stupidly. No, it's like people were always thinking stupidly. People never wanted to do the work. That's why nobody fucking like knows how to write. That's why most people, you know, even before the internet, would barely have a college education, nonetheless any type of like higher education beyond like a basic bachelor's degree. It's because nobody wants to do that type of work, because nobody wants to be a scholar, nobody wants to think objectively. And you want to know something? There's more stupid people than there are smart people.
When I see something, all right, I double check, triple check the sources. I want to see other people saying it. I want to see it verified. I don't want to see one source of information that has no outside corroboration that this thing even fucking took place. That's from one website that I've never heard of, that has like, you know, some kind of fucking like a banner that has like a fucking American flag that was made in MS Paint. And people are fucking looking at that shit and sharing it and fucking believing it's fucking the word of God. And that's terrifying to me. That's terrifying to me.
Well, you want to know something? This is nothing new, because propaganda and misinformation has existed for as long as
while that's true,
as long as humans wanted to lie to one another.
Necessarily have an excuse for it now, because as you said, the internet gives you the ability to fucking take the investigation to the next level if you want to not remain ignorant.
But people,
It's at your
but
fingertips.
it hasn't changed the nature of people who don't want to, want to be smart.
Right, yeah.
Because if they actually wanted to be smart, they would say to themselves, maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's the first step. In my understanding, in my perspective, is you gotta, if you want to like be on the course towards like true education, you don't take the ideologue's fucking stance and say, this is the way to look at the world, this is the best way of looking at it, you have to look at it this way, there's no other way that makes sense as much as this. That's not the way to look at the world. The way to look at the world is you stop and you say, hey, I don't know. Let me try to fucking navigate the world and learn from as many different people with as many fucking diverse viewpoints as I possibly can get until I can come to a personal understanding of something that seemingly makes sense in an objective way. Nobody does that. I don't know why nobody does that. And I think part of it has to be because people just are not inclined towards fucking working in that capacity, because it's so much easier to just fucking smoke weed or to fucking drink
or take
to
Airheads.
fucking take Airheads and fucking become a floating brain. And on that note,
what do you think a Gurlock smells like?
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about right now.
The deer thing.
A Gurranuk?
Gurranuk.
I don't know.
Wasn't that one of like the fucking the orcs from Lord of the Rings?
I've never seen the Lord of the Rings.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've never read it. Speaking of, maintaining ignorance.
You're gonna try to keep it that way?
Well, I'll tell you what. I watched like some of the Hobbit trilogy, and if that's what they're offering, like, you can keep it.
Wow, you're an asshole. All right, well.
No surprise there. Newsflash.
Anything else you want to say about this commercial? I feel like there was a lot. We got off topic, and there might have been a lot of uncovered.
We definitely did get off topic for the Google Lens commercial, but the essence of the Google Lens commercial is that people are so stupid that they need Google to correct them, and then they will not question Google. And that's a big part of the problem with why people's like intellect levels, in my perspective, are not increasing in such an ironic way. In an age of like open information, people are fucking not questioning and that's how fucking people get to the next level. That's how people actually learn, is by fucking doubting and questioning and not accepting the first thing that they come across, constantly being skeptical and admitting to themselves, I don't know.
I mean, that guy was like, oh yeah, it's the Fort Saint Lucen or whatever. That was it. Yep, that's it. That's it. We're done.
Thanks, Google. It's a reliance on technology to replace intelligence. That's not a good reliance.
If you have this fucking Google...
A good thing about technology is to replace like maybe manual labor, but not intellectual labor.
If you have this Google Lens app, well, why do you never need to learn anything about anything or retain that information? You could just use the app to fucking tell you everything about the world.
Yeah, and you want to know something?
Oh, wow, what's that thing called? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's my penis.
Hey, it could be useful in that regard as long as it's accurate.
If you have, like, herpes or something, will it be able to tell you that you have herpes?
Maybe. But then again, probably not. Because that's... I don't know.
Did they do, like, a fucking WebMD, like, crossover?
I don't know. These are deep questions.
Oh, so wait a minute. That's a tomato. Oh, boy. I guess you can't remember everything.
These are deep questions, my friend. But I think
too deep for me. I'm just a simple man.
I think on that note, I think we're going to wrap this episode up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for...
I didn't say we were wrapping it up.
Thank you for... I'm going to wrap it up.
When did I say we were wrapping it up?
Thank you for...
When did I... Look at this fucking YouTube channel. Look at this.
What am I looking at, the YouTube channel?
Look at this YouTube channel. All right.
What do you want me to look at?
Why don't you look at this right here?
All right. What am I watching?
What does it say at the top here when this banner? What does it say? What does it say? What does it say right here?
It says cunt whore.
No, what does it actually say?
It says Jabroni Mike.
All right. And who's Jabroni Mike?
And what happens if I put down the microphone and leave?
I'll just keep talking.
The podcast is over.
I'll just keep talking.
The podcast
it's over when I say it's over.
Ladies and gentlemen,
But we do have to end
thank
it.
you
He's
for coming
trying
out.
so hard to end it. You know, actually, like, the more aggressively you try to end it, the more I'm just gonna fucking like break your balls about it.
We're going about like this episode is probably, I don't know, like an hour and a half, well, more than that. It's probably close to 2 hours. But we've been fucking going like hardcore talking for like 2 hours before this. And I
Yeah.
think we have something to do after this as well.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
okay. And
you know,
he's got a point.
we got
All
like
right.
a good.
I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Thank you so much for listening to the.
You know what
podcast.
that is, ladies and gentlemen? It's a fucking power move.
You see
that's straight out of Putin's playbook.
It's going to his head. Look at his EP. He's got all the success on YouTube. The 7,800 subscribers has gone to his fucking head. He's out of control. He's an egomaniac, the madman.
It's straight out of the Vladimir Putin playbook. That's what this is.
A power move.
It is a power move if I've ever seen one in my life.
That's called the patented power bottom power move.
But seriously, sincerely, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Ad Free Radio again. We really do appreciate all the people who come out and support us. This is it's very encouraging, every comment that we get, and we love all of you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, and thank you for listening. And thank you for thank you for the recommendations of the commercials. They were
Please
very interesting commercials.
Continue to do so. You guys are kind of you know what it is we want to see here.
If I had to like suggest what type of commercial, I would say, commercials that are at least 30 seconds. That way we get a little bit of meat that we could play around with.
30 seconds to a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 30 seconds minimum, commercials. I personally
if you find something that you think would be exceptionally good for this podcast and it's longer than that or shorter than that, please don't be afraid.
No, we'll take a look at those too.
We'll take a look at everything. Just make sure it's got some infuriating angle to it that we could really dig into, or
if there's
something stupid, just something fucking stupid.
If there's some bullshit that needs to be fucking called out, like some hypocritical fucking like garbage bullshit, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that is well, guys. Yep. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Jabroni Mike.
I'm Pussy.
Lots of love.
And see you real soon next time.